Welcome to Spectrum News at 4, coming to you live from Oyo, the Akwabam State capital. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Tinubu meets with NGX SEC chiefs, discusses deepening reforms. IGP charges Sowore with false publication, forgery. Plus, tragedy at Turkish wedding as celebratory gunfire kills groom. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in just a moment. Good afternoon, and thank you once again for joining us on the news. We begin this afternoon from the national scene where President Bola Tinubu has met with the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Emomotimi Agama, and the Board of Directors of the Nigerian Exchange Group in Brazil during his state visit. A statement by the presidency today said the president praised the remarkable growth of Nigeria's capital market under his administration during the meeting. He also credited investors' confidence in his economic reforms for the surge in activity on the Nigerian exchange. According to Tinubu, the expansion of market capitalization and trading volumes reflected the strength of his policies. The president reaffirmed his commitment to supporting the market, pledging additional reforms to elevate Nigeria's financial ecosystem. The federal government has launched Nigerians can report fraudulent activities, submit evidence, and track the progress of their complaints. The disclosure was contained in a statement released by the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, FMHUD. The launch included demonstrations by Technical Consultations, Messrs. Freestone Investments Limited, and Messrs. Pronege Development Technologies Limited. The ministry stressed that fraudulent practices in housing estates will no longer be tolerated and that offenders will face the full weight of the law. The newly launched Housing Fraud Reporting Portal enables citizens to report fraudulent activities in housing estates, submit evidence, and track cases. The portal, accessible via www.report.fmhud.gov.ng, provides citizens with a safe and user-friendly platform to report incidents of fraud in housing estates. The federal government yesterday opened talks with the leadership of the expressed displeasure with the challenges, including a hostile work environment. Said the struggle in state universities. Ukbeifa said today he had taken full responsibility for the derailment of the Abuja-Kaduna train along the Kaduna corridor. An ongoing investigation into the incident would not be swept under the carpet. The MD said the injuries of 4 of the Abuja-Kaduna train passengers were serious. In a separate development, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has charged politician and online publisher Omoyele Sowore with false publication and forgery. In a 3-count charge filed before the Federal High Court in Abuja, the IGP accused Sowore of, among others, making false publication about the police on his media platforms and forging a police signal. Sowore was to be arraigned on the charge today, but got the inability of the prosecution to serve the charge on his media platform, Sahara Reporters listed. Prosecuting lawyer Wisdom Madaki told the court the effort to serve the second defendant through substituted means by newspaper publication is still in progress. Madaki applied for a fresh date for the arraignment of the defendants, a request Justice Emeka Nwite granted and adjourned till September 15 for arraignment. Back here, as part of his preparations to make the upcoming Yuletide most memorable in Akwa Ibom State, the state governor, Pastor Mono, has given December 2025 as timeline for inauguration of the world-class Ibom Resort project. Governor, who disclosed this when he fielded questions from Government House correspondents, said all the necessary operational mechanisms must first be put in place before the facility kickstarts its full operations in December to make a most eventful and exciting Christmas celebration for Akwa Ibomites. Registering his remarks, the Chief Executive Officer and President of Digital Learning Network of Chicago, USA, Thomas Lamina, expressed excitement over the breathtaking aerial view and standard of facilities put up at the resort. Lamina commended Governor for the impressive work done at the former 70 hectares once dreaded gully erosion site, having been transformed to a spectacular world-class tourism and recreation delight, and assured the governor of his organization's readiness to partner with the state government to promote more development strides of the administration. Meanwhile, residents of Ikorekbang and Ikorekweritam in its local government area have decried and expressed displeasure over the state of their road. The road, which traverses through Ikorekbang, Ikorekwere, Itam Police Station, Akwa Ibom Transport Company (AKTC), Itam Motor Parks, and other government infrastructure, according to them, have brought untold hardship because of its deplorable condition. Speaking to Spectrum Television, one of the affected persons and stakeholders in the area, Mendia Igbang, who expressed sadness over the deplorable state of the road, recounted challenges faced by residents.
Actually, I think when I moved in here a year ago, I discovered that the road has been terrible like this. It's not motorable, and it's always very terrible during the rainy season, like you can see. The mud, the flood everywhere, and then the grass is growing on the mud. So it's been a very, very inconveniencing thing, because whenever it rains like that, we cannot drive out. We have to take the other way, which is still not good. The road actually I think when I moved in here a year ago, I discovered that the road has been terrible like this. It's not motorable, and it's always very terrible during the rainy season, like you can see. The mud, the flood everywhere, and then the grass is growing on the mud. So it's been a very, very inconveniencing thing, because whenever it rains like that, we cannot drive out. We have to take the other way, which is still not good. The road actually I think when I moved in here a year ago, I discovered that the road has been terrible like this. It's not motorable, and it's always very terrible during the rainy season, like you can see. The mud, the flood everywhere, and then the grass is growing on the mud. So it's been a very, very inconveniencing thing, because whenever it rains like that, we cannot drive out. We have to take the other way, which is still not good. The road.
Another resident who recounted her experience and that of her family on the road expressed disappointment that the government could neglect the road that leads to different government establishments without consideration.
When there is a heavy rainfall, everywhere is flooded with water, and people living there, doing business, they are suffering. Especially for the business people, I want the government to please come and rescue us, to come and repair the road for us, because we living here, doing business here, are really suffering. Governor Umoino to come and help us repair the road. We will be very grateful if he does that.
The thing has been affecting my business, because due to the barrel, people cannot come here to buy something, and neither this other side is even better than this other side. So people do fall inside there. when they are coming to buy something from here. Yeah, I want the government to at least help us prepare the road for us so that the road can be better.
Others who share their losses in their businesses as a result of the bad road express sadness and uncertainties about the future of their businesses as customers find it difficult to access their shops as a result of the deplorable state of the road. They appeal to the Akwa Ibom State government to come to their aid.
I've affected my business because due to the bad road, people cannot come here to buy something, and neither this other side is even better than this other side. So people do fall inside there when they are coming to buy something from here. Yeah, I want the government to at least help us prepare the road for us so that the road can be better.
This go up there, we have the D division up there, we have the park there, we have AKTC, we have the abattoir. Now, if you move up here, this road, Ikorikbang, this Ikorikbang here linked to road, which we have Ita market down there, where when there's a population or in terms of traffic, most motors can divert and move. And besides too, in terms of emergency, there's a police station there. So like you see this place now, it's because there's no rain. When there's rain, it turns a swamp. Nobody walk around here. At times we have crime. The policemen cannot cross over here to arrest situation. Rather, they want to go and turn a long road. While the police station is just here, we are point hand here. If we walk down to that house, we'll see it. So it has become a problem to us. People living here flood. Like the last month, we had flood. Property worth millions of naira were lost here. Almost about 30 houses were flooded. Water from Afaobewita comes here. Water from Ikorekpo comes here. Water from Ikorekwere comes here. So at the end of the day, all the water will come here. So if the government will come in now to assess this road and bring in drainage. So when the water comes, they put a drainage, all the water will pass through here. Without that, maybe in the next future, people will vacate this area.
Moving now to Africa, where a court in Equatorial Guinea has sentenced a senior government official, Baltazar Ebang Egonga, to 8 years in prison for embezzlement, months after he became notorious over leaked sex tapes with other officials' wives. According to the Supreme Court Press Director Hilario Mitogo in a WhatsApp message, the Bioko Provincial Tribunal convicted Baltazar Ebang Egonga of the diverting money claimed as professional travel expenses for personal use. Egonga, the married former head of the National Financial Investigation Agency, and 5 other senior officials were accused of embezzling expenses worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in the oil-rich Central African state. On the foreign scene, Denmark's foreign minister has summoned the top U.S. diplomat in Copenhagen, following a report that American citizens have been conducting covert operations in Greenland. Reports say the aim was to infiltrate Greenland's society and promote its succession from Denmark to the U.S., although it was unable to clarify who the men were working for. Meanwhile, Danish intelligence warned Greenland was being targeted by various kinds of influence campaigns. Foreign Minister Lars Rasmussen said any attempts to interfere in the internal affairs of the Kingdom of Denmark will be unacceptable, adding that the U.S. charged the affaires had been summoned in that light. However, U.S. President Trump has said several times he wants to annex Greenland, an autonomous part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and Vice President J.D. Vance accused Copenhagen of underinvesting in the territory. Still on the foreign scene, a groom died of his injuries after being hit by celebratory gunfire after his own wedding in northern Turkey. According to reports, as the newlyweds were being escorted home after the ceremony, the 23-year-old groom, identified as Ali K, was wounded by gunfire allegedly at the hands of a female relative of his wife. It added that the 47-year-old woman forces and 2 unlicensed pistols were found in her garden. Prosecutors have opened an investigation into the incident. Celebratory gunfire is at weddings in Turkey's northern bloc. Still to come in the news. Athletes arrive at Asaba for 2025 National Youth Games. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more. Many thanks for a total of 136 billion naira in its recently concluded 5- and 7-year bond auctions with marginal rates of 17.9% and 18% respectively. According to the offer document on its website, the new 5-year federal government August 2030 bond and the 7-year federal government June 2032 bond were auctioned on August 25, 2025 and are set to settle today. According to the Debt Management Office, the range of bids for the 5-year bond was between 12.5% and 21.5%, while bids for the 7-year bond ranged from 15% to 22%. Successful bids were allotted at marginal rates of 17.9% and 18% respectively. We're still talking business. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has issued a fresh directive mandating all participants in the country's payment ecosystem to complete migration to the ISO 20022 messaging standard and implement mandatory geo-tagging of payment terminals by October 31, 2025. In a circular published on its website, the Apex Bank reminded deposit money banks, microfinance banks, mobile money operators, switching and processing companies, payment terminal service providers, payment solution service providers, super agents, and other licensed operators that ISO 20022 is now the global benchmark for payments messaging. The circular, signed by the Director of the Payment System Supervision Department, Dr. Rakia Yusuf, stated that the move aligns with SWIFT's global migration timeline and is intended to standardize quality data across Nigeria's financial system. The CBN stressed that compliance with these requirements is not optional and warned that all in-scope institutions must complete migration activities and achieve full compliance before the October 31 deadline. We move over to health, where the Osun State government has commenced the enrollment of about 1,100 inmates at the Ilesha and Ile-Ife correctional centers into its free health insurance scheme. The Executive Secretary of the Osun State Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Razak Akindele, describes this in Oshobo. He explained that the initiative followed a request by the State Controller of Corrections, Rotimi Olalekon, who appealed for government support in addressing the health needs of inmates. Akindele noted that Governor Ademola Adeleke had previously directed the free enrollment of pensioners into OHIS, giving them access to comprehensive health care. He said over 26,000 pensioners are currently benefiting, while similar initiatives have been extended to people with disabilities who also received life support gadgets, as well as students in public schools. Now to sports, where Wolves have rejected a second Newcastle bid for striker Jurgen Strand-Larsen, who scored twice in the win over West Ham. The Magpies had returned with a £55 million offer after a £50 million approach was turned down earlier this week. Strand Larsen, who earned for £23 million this summer, came off the bench to score twice in the final 8 minutes as Wolves beat West Ham 3-2 in the EFL Cup on Tuesday. Reports say boss Victor Pereira afterwards refused to rule out a sale, even though he wants ticket the forward. Still in sports, athletes from different parts of the country are already arriving at Sabah, Delta State capital, for the 9th edition of the National Youth Game NYG. The delegation registration meetings DRM, which began on August 21st, ended on August 24th to give way for the commencement of the fiesta. According to the LOC, 26th and 27th August are being observed as arrival dates for the event, while the opening ceremony will take place on Friday, August 29th. Meanwhile, the chairman of the National Sports Commission, NSC, Shehu Diko, is expected to declare the games open on behalf of President Bola Tinubu. On our entertainment news, Tunde Ednut, a Nigerian media personality, has made a subtle jab at Afrobeat musician Wizkid. The development came after Wizkid's rival Davido made a post about the third private jet purchased by his family. Reacting to Davido's post about the newly acquired jet by his father, Ednut congratulated the singer on his Instagram page. Taking to the comment section, one of Tunde Ednut's fans at Jerry Mahi required when he plans to buy his own private jet. In response, the media personality threw a shade at Wizkid, noting that he would buy his own jet after Wizkid gets one. And that's all we have for you at this time. To ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Ofonono Joseph. Thank you so much for watching. To enjoy the rest of the